Hello there, and welcome to another week of weekly psychic review. So I hope you've had a good week, and last week's information helped you out. So we're doing this from October 28th through to November 3rd. Okay, so how I work is I work with my spirit guides and all those in spirit who love me. I ask them to please come close, give you the information you need for the week, and give you the healing as well. Okay, if you just give me a sec, I'll just seal off, tune in, call my guides in, and we'll get straight into the reading. Okay, so what's coming through is about getting you to have a bit of an awareness about where your sort of actions are coming from. Now, are they coming from a heart space or are they not? So the way you can tell the difference of this is that when they're coming from a heart space, a center or perspective, is that's when you're really engulfed in the moment, you're really very mindful of it, you're enjoying yourself, you're having a lot of fun, you're losing yourself in that moment, you're really, totally there, and you're really letting everything go, and it really uplifts you, and it brings you quite a lot of joy, quite a lot of love, and happiness as well. You really get something out of it. And they're saying that, this can be the same with hard work as well. Some people out there I heard are studying and that sort of thing, or they've got quite intense jobs. You can still do this from a very heart-centered place with really being in that moment, because this is something in which you're very driven, you're focused, you're really engulfing yourself in it, you really want to be there, you really and getting something out of this experience. So when you're not in this space, this is really, when you're doing it because you think you should, because you have to, because, this person or this family member wants you to, or your partner, or whatever the case may be, you're just doing it, you're going through the motions, that sort of thing. And the thing is, mentally and emotionally, you've checked out, you've totally checked out of here. And when that happens, what happens is you're not really you're not really in the moment. You're not really getting your needs met from this moment either. You're just going through it in like a bit of a subconscious way. And what happens with that is you're not really experiencing the moment, and you're not really getting the benefit out of this, and you're not really getting the joy out of it as well. So the thing is, quite a lot of our actions, they come from subconscious programming. Now, it's either through society or cultural, through expectations, through obligations, this kind of thing. And when you're doing it, when you're doing these things, and you're doing an activity or an event, a situation, you're doing something in that way, you're not really, uplifting yourself. You're not really giving yourself what you need. You're not really raising your vibration, which, quite a lot of you talk about, and this sort of thing. So it's really about being more aware of when you are in a heart-centered place and when you're not in a heart-centered place. So it's that thing that, hey, when you drive down to the shops, or you're cooking dinner sometimes, or you're not mindful, and you might not be in a heart-centered place. And we're not saying for you to totally be like this all the time, but it's about having a bit of awareness about when you are and when you do, and it's about really creating more choice and more change in your life as well. So when you have more choice, what you can actually do is you can choose mindfully to go, okay, I'm going to help this person out. I don't really want to do it, but you know, I'm going to do it for whatever reason, whatever that is. But maybe the next time it comes along, or maybe even that time, you'll go, well, actually, I don't really want to be here. I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to help you, you know. And when you do that, you actually give yourself a choice and you start empowering yourself. Now, the other thing it does is when you're doing this and you're involved with other people, you actually can be empowering them. You can be helping them in a way in which I can hear a few of you say, well, it sounds a pretty roundabout way of doing it. But sometimes when you do things for other people, or when you do things, when you take over or whatever, you don't actually give them the opportunity to learn. You don't actually give them the opportunity to grow and to move forward, and that sort of thing. So it's just really about coming back to your intent and, you know, where your intent lies within this as well. So they're saying just have a bit of awareness. Now, if you are doing things and you realize that you don't want to be doing them, but you just do them out of habit, you do them out of, you know, like a social programming or a family conditioning or whatever it may be, or that's the way you've always done things, and you're actually going, well, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. So one way you can start to reprogram yourself is to start doing it actually before you go to sleep and when you wake up as well. So you can see different things in your head, especially if they're repetitive, habitual sort of actions that you're carrying out. You can actually see this situation occurring. You can see, you know, see the person asking or this thing coming up, and you actually going, no, I'm going to take a different course of action. I'm going to do something which actually really lifts my heart, which lifts my spirits. The other way is to do it in a very conscious way, and that's actually, and this could be a bit more difficult because it's going to involve, it could involve some friction here, a little bit of, because it could involve other people, and you know, when you've been doing something a certain way for a certain amount of time and then you stop doing it, well, it doesn't just change what you're doing, it throws other things out around you. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm actually saying that if you do this with love in your heart, well, that's actually good. And then it might give the other people or the other, you know, whatever it is, people involved in this situation to find their own resources and get to really start to expand upon what they need to expand upon. And it's about boundaries as well. So they're saying you just have a bit of awareness about when this stuff comes up and how it comes up and what you do, and and if you're really working from a heart space, you know, sort of perspective, or you're not. Okay, so there's no wrong answers here, there's just stuff. Okay, so we'll get on with the weekly reading. So, okay, so what's the start of the week? So, so the start of the week, all right, this is actually, all right, this is about non-judgment, which is funny. They're saying about this boundaries and all this sort of stuff. So this is about you. How about if you go through your day, or you go through the start of the week? They're saying you can do this for the whole week, but you go through the start of the week, and when whatever happens around you, you know, listen to your mind and listen to when you start jumping to conclusions. Oh, this is that, that's that. You know, this goes back into programming as well. Or, you know, do you start judging things? Do you start thinking, oh, that's because of that and that's because of that and blah, blah, and this sort of stuff. So this is about really creating a bit more mindfulness, a bit more awareness around the sort of situations that occur. And they're saying also, you know, have a feel and be really open and honest about what feelings come up within you. Because sometimes when you're judging somebody else or you're judging a situation or whatever it is, it's because you've done that. and it's inside of you. So the only time you have a reaction with something is if there's something in you that aligns with that. So when you get upset, you get angry, you get frustrated, there's something in you which is triggered from this. So if you actually don't get triggered, there's actually nothing inside of you. Will go, oh, well, okay, cool, all right. And you'll just move on with your day. There won't be an emotional reaction, there'll just be an observation. Okay, so the middle of the week. What's on the middle of the week? So, right, so the middle of the week it's about being easy on yourself. And it's about really not, being objective and being observant, but it's about not jumping to conclusions. So it's a bit like the start of the week, not judging or anything like that. So it's about seeing things more for what they are. And it's about being a little bit more fair about yourself. It's being a little bit more forgiving, being a little bit more fair, being a bit more loving. They're saying that most people out there they're saying, about 98, 99% of the people who are going to be watching this video out there are old souls. And we can be our own worst enemy. And I'm getting poked at the moment as well. So, yeah, just have a bit of awareness about this. Okay, so what's something with the end of the week? The end of the week. So, right. So this is about having gratitude for how damn good you've done, for earlier in the week. And this is about having that awareness, seeing actually what's coming up, what sort of thoughts are coming up, what actions, your intent in that, and then actually go, oh, okay, I was going to operate like this. Do I choose to do that? And then just honour your choice. Have gratitude for whatever choice you take. Because they're saying that when you start really, loving yourself for what you do, they're saying organically your intentions are going to start changing, your choices are going to start changing, and your actions are going to start changing as well. So this is about, hey, if you're allowing yourself to do a certain thing or whatever it may be, go, okay, cool, that's fine. I'm just going to get on with it, because pretty soon, either two things, they're saying lots more things are going to happen, but we'll break it down to two. We haven't got a lot of time. So one thing is you're going to do it and you're just going to go back to ignoring your feelings or ignoring what's going on, or you're going to just sort of push that aside and go back to working subconsciously. The other thing is you're going to start actually realizing that possibly what you're doing is not really making you that happy. When you start, really allowing yourself to feel it, really surrendering to it, really having gratitude to it, you're actually going to start going, well, this isn't a cool way of working, and I'm not really happy about this. And when you really start doing that at a really truthful and honest level, this is really the time when things are really going to start moving. And it's not about just doing it once, this is about doing it and continuing to do it. And the same with the programming and the patterning and conditioning and that sort of thing. They're saying, look, everyone out there has lived, their whole lives up to this point like this. So, it's going to take more than a week. Okay, it's going to take more than a week to change this sort of stuff. So, but this is about when you do change it, acknowledge it, have gratitude to yourself, feel good about what you're doing. And it could take weeks, could take months, could take years. They're saying, look, basically, this is a process that's going to keep occurring right through your life. But the more you can start doing this, the more happier, the more in yourself you're going to be, the more grounded, the more aligned, the more centered, the more joyous, the more loving you're going to be. And they're saying you're actually going to be younger as well. So younger on the inside and physically. It's actually going to age you less as well, which is quite cool to hear. Okay, I just wanted to finish there. I've been talking for quite a while. So I just wanted to thank you for joining me this week. Thank you everyone who shares me around. Love it. Absolutely awesome. I love it when you share me around, when you give me, comments about what's happened during the week and how you've aligned with this. If you want a session with me, I do readings, healings, counseling, mentoring, meditation groups, all kinds of stuff. So give me a buzz. All the links are down below. And big love to you. Take care. Take care of yourself and each other. Okay, namaste.